It's Steph. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for sending over your check-in. Hopefully you're feeling absolutely wonderful. I tend to find that lots of people who do day shifts and night shifts, the progress with weight isn't always linear. I mean, for most of us, progress with weight isn't always linear. When we're in a diet, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going down, 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 down. It doesn't necessarily mean in the build phase that it's going up, 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 up. But I do find that those who have the different shifts, it affects the sleep times, etc., that it can be a little bit more effective of not potentially seeing it go in the direction that you want it to. So the one thing that I want you to focus on, rather than that daily body weight, is focus on the average each week, which has changed every single week. If we look back to when you first started, the body weight has actually changed in the last 8 weeks over 4.5 kilos. Yes, we know that we want to get lean, but we also know that we wanted to create a plan that you were able to train well, have a good amount of expenditure with some good habits with steps and cardio, have good meals so that we can understand the calories, how to swap things, how to fit things into your meals that you fancy, etc. And also be able to still balance things with an off-plan meal at times, understanding the things that we're putting in our bodies, etc. And we've been able to achieve that. So rather than getting too frustrated about the body weight not always going down every single day, focus on the fact that, okay, I've actually only had about 4 hours sleep because I've actually been on my night shifts, etc. Am I necessarily going to see things change as well as when I've had a good amount of sleep in the night? No, I'm not. So as long as we are being good and to plan, still allowing for the balance that we've just spoken about, are we going to see things change really well over time? Yes. Do we have a plan right now that you could maintain and keep for time after the project? Absolutely. And that's the most important thing. Being able to keep to it, feel good with it, and it actually really helping improve that healthy lifestyle, healthy way of living, the look of your body. And let's be honest, the changes in your body are clear to see. Way leaner in your midsection, much more development into your glutes and legs, and a really nice cap into your delt as well, which is fantastic. Don't worry that you obviously had to adjust your meal slightly for the day that you had your blood work done. I would never mark your score out of 10, your adherence, down for that, because it's not something that you can control. You obviously can't eat, or it's better not to eat before the blood work, better to just hydrate, and it'll just give you some better results off the back of it. So once them results come back, please fire them over to me so that we can work through those as well. I'm glad that the training has felt great. Glad to hear that you're hitting good numbers with your strength. Nice to hear that you're actually enjoying the movements. Obviously having access to things like the workout library as well is helping you to be able to know how to do the form. If you have any questions about any of it, please obviously let me know as well. When it comes to a little bit of post and pre-PMS moodiness, we know that that can happen. We know that it's difficult when the hormone changes happen as a female, and it's difficult to manage them and deal with them at times. Know that you can chat to me at any time, because I'm also a lady that goes through those different things, and we know that we can't get away from it totally. I don't want to change anything today because things have started to move quite well. Episodes can come off the back of just feeling like you don't have the ability to be able to let out what's inside. You turn to that comfort because you either feel very emotional, stressed, there's things going on in life, and we all deal with that differently. Like some people deal with that with going for a drink, and that's definitely not the best of habits. Other people have it where they go for a run, and that's what they do to be able to let off some steam. Some people turn to foods, and I think if we can have that ability to let it out or speak about what it is that's inside, it helps to calm those feelings a little bit. And I'm glad that the Empower, and especially being able to obviously speak to me when you feel like you need me, is allowing for you to feel like you feel calm and able to overcome those binging episodes, because you just have someone to be able to speak to be able to get those thoughts, feelings and emotion. Good morning all. Welcome back to my YouTube video. As you've just seen, that was me doing the check-ins for the Empower project. If you've not watched my YouTube, I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown of what the Empower project is. It's a 12-week challenge, or as I like to say, project. As you can see, because I've just said it 3 times already. The idea is to create healthy habits, improve your body composition with that, obviously, but to really make sure that someone's life can change off the back of it. Because I hate 12-week challenges. I think they look great with the transformations, but I hate the 12-week, 8-week challenges, etc. That's just about getting shredded. If you can do it well and you can look really great and you can actually create good habits for the rest of your life, there's no reason to do these really aggressive diets. And a lot of the time, the really aggressive diets, they don't really teach you good things. When it comes to a competition prep, at the end of it, is that something that's sustainable? Not really, no. And there's some good habits that you can learn as a bodybuilder here, especially in the off season, eating well, keeping a good amount of expenditure, etc. But that end of competition look and the routine. But you can definitely do it in a way that you can sustain that, enjoy it. And that's what I wanted to create with the Empower project, with allowing for people to keep a good amount of expenditure, have a good amount of training that it fits into their life. So it's not something that kind of just stops and starts. And it doesn't have to be training in the gym if they don't want to, but just actually making time to train, to keep some steps in, to get your heart rate up with some cardio if it's needed, and eat well. Having a good balance with that, with an off-plan meal, making a meal, etc. So that it can just feel like part of life. People can look great because people do want to look great and feel great, not feeling like it's a chore, not feeling like it's boring, bland foods, so that we can understand how to keep that good amount of balance into life and stay looking good and feeling good as well. Me and Zena on our morning walk. She's just looking like she's on edge, so I wondered if somebody was around the corner that was looking a little bit scary, but it's not, so we're going to continue with our little walk. The mornings are always looking the same. I wake, I make my coffee, I go to my desk, I work, and then I go for my morning walk, eat my breakfast, do a little bit of meal prepping, and then go about some extra work. I like to keep my days nice and routined, just because it allows me to stay productive. I get a good amount of sleep, I train well, I recover well, I feel good, but it also keeps me on top of things like work. I don't like it when someone's a coach for online fitness and they don't eat well and they don't train, because I think if you're teaching all these people how to train and fit things into their life and eat well, how are you not doing that yourself? I don't mind, but I could never really work with somebody that does that, because I just think, why are you not keeping on top of your own health if you're telling me to keep on top of mine? And you don't have to be a bodybuilder, you don't have to be eating 6 meals a day, but you do have to keep health at the front of your mind. So you don't have to eat like a bodybuilder, you don't have to train like a bodybuilder to be able to coach. My coaches with diving didn't dive, they did before and they had a real passion for it. And I think that's what helped me stay even motivated, especially because they loved that you could have a conversation about it. I feel like you can be a great coach and you can still eat well and you can still do some form of exercise, even if it's not bodybuilding training, just something so that you can actually stick to the things that you are trying to preach yourself. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not too sure. I don't think I'd really have, I don't know if the word's respect. I think that's potentially a little bit harsh, but I'd probably just feel a bit funny if my coach wasn't doing that. I guess my coach is my husband, and if he wasn't, I'd kick him up the bum. So maybe if my coach was doing that, I don't feel like I would want to have to kick them up the bum, because they should essentially be doing that for me. Not that I need that, but that's what I'd feel like anyway. So, I mean, eating well doesn't have to be cooking your chicken and stuff like that. We've gone through different things on my channel of what you could do to eat well, even if it's not meal prepping, but everybody's got 10-15 minutes in your day to be able to choose a healthy option, do some walking outside and keep a good routine, because that's what health and fitness is all about, and definitely what bodybuilding is as well. So doing that, if you're a coach, is definitely a necessity from my perspective. So that's what we do. That's what our morning routine looks like, me and Zena. We're going to go home, we're going to make her breakfast. who will have cooked my breakfast, which is very kind. Today I have an upper body day, as well as obviously all the Empower client check-ins, as well as my other clients checking in, my one-to-one coaching clients. Lots of people are competing at the minute, so lots of daily check-ins, which is exciting. Some people competing this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after. It's going to be all systems go this year, and we're very excited for it. So yes, that is what we're doing. We'll be home for breakfast in a memento, and I'll show you that. Was meal one, and that was, whoa, no it wasn't. It was 225 grams of egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 50 grams of veg, 100 grams of blueberries, and 200 grams of sourdough bread. Yes, I eat a lot of bread. It digests well for me. I always go for a good quality bread sauce like sourdough, and one that is very low in fat. And the Jason's one offers that here in the UK. If you are in the UK, it's a good option, especially if it digests well for you. People try and stay away from bread. It works well for me, so it might work well for you. Definitely try it. Then I moved into doing some steps via doing meal prep, cleaning the kitchen, hoovering up, etc. Great way to get some movement in the day, as well as obviously the dog walk that I do as well as washing the clothes, etc. Because obviously a lot of the time I am sat down on my desk doing my client work, which is a huge part of it. So that was my morning block. Now I'm moving into my second block of work. I've done all my check-ins. It's now about replying to the replies off the back of the check-ins and doing any form clips that have been sent over this morning as well, before I head over and have my meal too.
Check out the goal. What is the goal? The goal for these guys is to make...
that was 125 grams of venison, having that as my lean beef sauce at the moment. I like it, that's why I have it. I always like to have a little bit of red meat throughout my week, and that is my source of it at the minute. Not for any other reason, literally just because I enjoy it and I like to have a good source of red meat throughout my week. That's also got 300 grams of potatoes, 100 grams of veg, and actually 50 grams of pineapple. When it comes to my rest days and training days, they are slightly different, and then my upper body days and my lower body days are different as well. I'm obviously not looking to grow my upper, it's more about maintenance, so my calories are a little bit lower because the need for extra calories, because I'm not trying to really push to grow in these days, are a little bit lower than my leg days. However, it's higher than my rest days because my movement is more. So that is the reason why they are slightly different. And it's 50 grams of pineapple in my upper body days, which is today, and 100 grams of pineapple on my leg days. I've actually got one of my lovely clients, Danny, coming to train with me, so you'll be able to see a little bit of that session and some of the input that I give to my clients when they come for a session and an in-person check-in. She's far away from her competition prep at the moment. Well, not competition prep, her actual competition at the moment, but it's nice to be able to see them in person, see their bodies. It's just chat in person as well, so if we have the ability to be able to do that, it's always very nice. It's funny, there's been quite a few things on the internet this week about whether the females should get the same pay as other male competitors, and I actually don't agree with Landa. I don't think that she should have said anything like that. I think she's made herself look a little bit silly. I'm a female bodybuilder and I'm all for female bodybuilding getting better and improving, but we have to earn to get that. Like, male bodybuilding brings a lot in. They bring a lot more people in to watch the shows. They bring a lot in when it comes to the content that they post, whether that be informative, day in the life things, etc. Like, there are not a lot of female bodybuilders that bring that in. And unfortunately, like, most people away from bodybuilding don't find female bodybuilding attractive. We have the muscle worshippers, etc. But when it comes to actual female bodybuilding, like, a lot of normal guys that aren't into that, which is probably 90% of people in the world, don't find the attraction to it. And I mean, I'm a female bodybuilder, so I'm not saying anything bad against myself or people that don't find that attractive, but if we're not bringing the money in, I mean, essentially the promoters aren't going to be giving money out of their pocket if they don't actually have that. And I believe that she said all of that, and her competition actually gives more to men in terms of actual monetary value out. So I think that she's kind of stabbed herself in the leg a little bit there. I think that you've got to try and, if you're going to say something about it, you've got to do it yourself, haven't you? So it's a shame. Anyway, I really wish that people like that could watch potentially content like this. They're not going to do, because they probably just think it's stupid. But I mean, I try to bring value to female competitors when it comes to talking about assistance, when I talk about my training, when I talk about living my lifestyle, doing my routine, how I've been able to build myself up as a competitor. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of females that do that, if any. And I understand it's because they'll sound different, they maybe don't look the best facially at times, etc., whether that be in a competition prep or due to the fact that they've decided to go down the route of PEDs, etc. So it's an understandable thing, but because at the top, the ladies that have potentially won the Olympia, etc., there's not that kind of documentation and the education and kind of that. I mean, I'm sure that the guys right at the very top don't want to be seen as influencers, but they are. Because we don't really have that in female bodybuilding, the kind of bringing of funds from female bodybuilding is less. So with that, we are going to get less until potentially a change is made, and we see kind of more traction coming through with female bodybuilding. So that'll be wonderful. Anyway, I'm going to get ready for the gym. I'm going to pop some clothes on for the gym, and then we are going to go and have our pre-workout meal, which will be 75 grams of rice. Again, I have 100 grams on a leg day. We've just spoken about why it's different. 125 grams of chicken, 75 grams of veg. I have less veg in this meal just so that my digestion's tip-top. And I also have 100 grams of pineapple. And then we're going to have our intra-workout stack that we'll speak about at the gym. Pause there, and then just keep that shoulder down just a little bit. Lock that tummy a little bit tighter on that side. Pull your hip over a little bit. There. That's better. You know your elbow, how it's just coming straight back. Try and think first Go. Just leave it there. Come down first and then in. A little bit more. Because you're just going like this. Like elongate it a little bit. There we go. That thumb there, wrap it around your handle. Wrap it around your handle. Can you not? Oh, I'm sorry. It's because you've got your little hands. You'll just stabilise a little bit more. That's great. That was better. You know, as soon as you moved your thumb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because your elbow went from going like this to going like this. Oh. Only small little changes, honestly. I'm ready when you are. Let your elbow lead the way, not the shoulder. All the way through. Perfect. Yeah, let's keep it going to match the other side. Come on. All the way through. One more. Try. All the way. Come on. What felt stronger on that? What felt weaker on that side?
Left.
What felt weaker?
My grip.
Maybe the wrist straps are a good idea. It's horrible when the fingers start slipping, isn't it? I tend to find if I like really get it in there and then wrap it around, you know, rather than like a handle where you can like fiddle it about, if you like really get it in, you can hook in. It is harder on the rubbery grips. That's way better. Good. Let's go. Retract hard. Good. Don't let him come up just back. Drive. Good go. Good go. Now you can be restricted with your shoulders because we're going to move on to rear delts. Right. So we've just been working through with Danny's back movements. She has a little bit of a tendency to pick up her shoulders on lat and upper back movements, meaning that she doesn't isolate the lats or the upper back very well. She uses quite a little bit of trap. So we've adjusted that slightly so it hurts a little bit better in the future. I'm ready when you are. That's good because we don't want to see what they're doing because on stage we can't see.
No.
Right, push your hips back a little bit and then drive your knees out a little bit more. That's better. You've got some good thickness into your quad. Really good thickness. You don't need to bring your arms so far forwards. Just, yeah, there you go. And then get your chest a little bit taller. Pop them forearms in a little bit. Not like, don't bring the whole arm in. Literally pop the arm out and bring your forearm in. No, get yourself back to where you were before. That's better. Loads better. Okay, let's quarter turn. You have really nice flow.
Thank you. That's Hannah Mitchell.
Is it?
Yeah.
Go on, Hannah. And then let's quarter turn.
My hair's on for this shit.
That's the one that we want to focus on a little bit. Right, relax yourself. Just stand there. And then I want you to think about, let's pop the lats out. Pop them out. And then bring your shoulders back a little bit. There we go. That's how you create some width.
I usually just...
You're making yourself well narrow. That's better. Can you see how you're there though? You can even see it there.
Yeah.
We want to try and bring them shoulder blades back a little bit. That's better. You're not losing any width. You're just going to have to practice it, you know, so that you can keep that width as you keep them out.
Yeah.
That's better. Push them hips back a little bit more. There we go. More. And drive them knees out. That's better. When we come in leaner, that'll be really nice into your glutes and that was a wonderful session. I then headed out with my best friend to have sushi. Where I normally have sushi was closed, so we went for a different one. It wasn't the best, I won't lie. It was alright, but I wouldn't rush to go back. That's for sure. To be able to make way for the sushi, which, I mean, I'll have enough pan meal when I fancy one, because I'm so far into a surplus right now, like 32 weeks, I am just not the hungriest, so having something off, I'm not bothered at the minute, but it's nice to be able to have that social time sometimes. And if you want to do that, especially as a competitor or just living a healthy life, You can definitely do that and not overdo your calories. It's just about understanding that when you go out for food, that they will cook slightly differently to you at home. They will likely use more oils, which will give it more calories, and people potentially don't understand that. Like, a lot of people go out for like an Indian and they go, oh, I'll just have chicken and rice, but then they add the chicken tikka masala sauce on, any other curry sauce on, even like the Chinese's, etc. Like, it can add hundreds to thousands of calories depending on what actual sauce it is. So that's just one thing that you've got to be mindful of. Like, for me, if I go to the usual place that we go to, I tend to just stick to the tuna, which is very low fat, whereas this place only had a very small amount of tuna left. So I had to have more salmon, knowing that salmon has a lot more fat in than what I would usually have in terms of protein source, means that I would need to take out 2 meals from my day, not just swap it for one like I would usually do. So I've done that with 2 of my meals today. Instead of meal 4 and meal 5, I just had the meal that I had when I went out, meaning that my calories will be similar to what I should have had. And this evening I can just have my usual pre-bed meal. If you're not a competitor and you don't really eat, I guess, 5-6 meals a day, you might be only ending up with 1 meal extra or 2 meals extra on top of your off-plan meal. But it's just being mindful of what they actually put in foods when you go out to eat, or how they cook it, the sauces that you add, etc. Like, people will go out even for things like a chicken Caesar salad, and it's really funny. You actually look at a chicken Caesar salad calories when you go out for dinner, if the menu's got calories, and then you look at the burger, and sometimes even the burger is less. So sometimes even healthy food isn't actually healthy. And if anyone ever has any specific questions about off-plan eating, then please feel free to do it. That if you want to have a great physique, which if you want to look good, then you're going to have to eat well. There might be occasions throughout the year where you have a little bit more fluidity. You can go with the flow and have a little bit extra foods, like Christmases, birthdays, etc. Sound. If you want to do that, when you get back to plan, things will sort themselves out after a little bit of time, as long as you've not kind of really overdone it. Then you might have to pull back a little bit for the next days afterwards. But yeah, if you want to have an off-plan meal, it doesn't have to take you away from your goals, especially physique goals. If you're in a diet phase, if you're a non-competitor, then you just have to have a meal that's small, less calories, maybe similar to the meal that you've had taken out. Or if it's in a competitive setting and you're in an off season, you want to stick to something of similar calories. You don't want your body weight to be going up massively because you're eating loads of foods off plan. It will affect your digestion, it will affect your body composition, and all of that just kind of has a negative input on the way that you perform, the way that you grow, the way that you develop. So it's just about eating well. And if you can eat well and eat smart and eat healthily, like, your mind will be better, your body will look better, your digestion will feel better. I know that we kind of, people crave like the bad foods and things like that. If you can actually learn to cook well, if you can actually learn to enjoy good foods, you'll not really feel that need for it. It's like when I was younger, I used to eat like the pizzas and the burgers and things like that. I don't really have like a craving for anything like that, because I enjoy the foods that I have. I enjoy the foods that I have when I go out, because I'll always choose like a nice option. I come home, I don't feel bloated, my belly doesn't feel bad. I wake up, my body weight doesn't get affected by it, and I just feel good. So yeah, eat well, eat smart, have an off-plan meal if you want to. Don't be restrictive if you're not at the end of a diet. If you want to be restrictive and you're just not bothered about having an off-plan, don't do it. It's always your choice. So do what you want to do, but if you do want to do it, it's not bad to do. You just got to be smart about it. Don't overeat for the overeating's sake. Don't let yourself get away with it if you're overeating all the time, because essentially you're not going to feel good and you're not going to look good. And who does not want to look good naked? Right, that was my last meal, and I'm going to go to bed. The obviously 2 meals that you didn't see was my sushi meal, so that is why you didn't see those 2 meals. But usually they would be 120 grams of cream of rice, 40 grams of whey, 100 grams of burritos, and then the other meal would be 125 grams worth of chicken, 50 grams of avocado, 50 grams of rice, 100 grams of veg. I had the sushi instead, as we said earlier. So my last meal is 30 grams of oats, 50 grams of curry rice mix. I like that, that's my favourite. It's a nice smooth texture. 45 grams of whey, 150 grams of berries, 20 grams of dark chocolate. Lovely, jubbly, in my belly, ready for bedtime. I eat my last meal about 15 minutes before bed. Going to bed with a non-empty tummy always helps me sleep better, even in the off season really, and I don't really have time between going to bed and waking up to not have it that close to bedtime, to be fair. Doesn't affect my blood glucose, doesn't affect my digestion, definitely doesn't get my blood sugars spiking, however stuff other people say. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed my video, hopefully you enjoyed the session with my client. If there's anything that you'd like me to cover, please like, share, comment below, and let me know what you would like me to say. If you got this far, comment below, got this far, and that way we'll know who the last 2 second crew is. Night, God bless.